wondering, yo, how are you hitting the newspapers and how are you moving people out the way? And he's like, yo, and then he comes back to him and he says, I'm not leaving until you show me how you do that.
Yeah.
So then the guy mentions to him, the guy mentions him here like, you stubborn son of a you know what. And then they get off, and then that's when he's telling him, hey, you got to feel it from your gut. You know, and then he has to channel his energy. And then he keeps trying, and all of a sudden he can push the soda can, then he pushed the shoe off. Then the guy gets mad, and then the guy breaks the window, and all the cigarettes come out, and he's like, "Oh, what I wouldn't give for a drag on a cigarette," you know. But then after Sam learns how to, be able to physically touch, that's when the movie really gets good because now I can go and I can write my name in the fog on the mirror. Boom. Now I can type in the computer Sam, and scare the Carl Brunner was the other guy's name. And I can scare people like, like
incredible movie. And you know what? That's you could apply that what you're saying, that concept to everything.
Yeah.
There's always a learning curve. Even Jesus, when he was 13 years old, he started to figure out who he was.
Yes.
Right? It took him a while to figure out who he was.
Yeah.
Even though he was God himself.
In the flesh,
In the flesh. And he had to grow into eventually, to who he was. So I think we all go through that. You know, once you figure out your calling, you figure out, when you become a father, at first you don't like, oh my God, what do I do?
How I do it.
And it's crazy because like my son, he's 17, right? This generation is totally different.
Totally.
But once in a while, I convince him to watch an old movie with me, right? And one of my goals is there's certain movies that I want him to watch, and like when my daughter gets to that age, I want also to see movies. And I got him to watch this movie when he was a little bit younger. Camilo tenía como 13 años por ahí. There's a movie, I don't know if you guys ever watched it. It was called Toy Soldiers.
What? Yes.
Oh my God, that was a great movie.
That's a good movie.
If no one's watched that movie, you could still watch it now, and it's a great movie because it's like for young people, like for your age and for any age. And it was about a school, right? A prep school.
Yeah.
De niños de dinero, high school de dinero, gente hijo de políticos y todas esas cosas. And Colombian terrorists take over the school. Entonces los muchachos que eran los más traviesos were the ones who figured out how to rescue everybody. It was an incredible movie. I got Camilo to watch the movie.
It stars Sean Astin, the guy
Sean Astin.
From the Goonies.
Yeah.
Tienen que verla, se llama Toy Soldiers. No sé si la han visto. Comenten si la han visto. Pónganme para ver si la han visto.
Coming to another movie that I really, really, really like was Independence Day.
Oh my God, with
1995,
Will Smith. Yeah, 95,
I
96.
love Independence Day because it's really, really
You know why I remember that movie? My first job ever, mi primer trabajo, was at International Mall over there by the Dolphin Mall that it is now. There's an International Mall. I used to work at a movie store.
Oh, wow.
At a movie store que, ¿saben? Vendían películas. They would sell, they would still sell VHS and DVDs.
Wow.
And I had to set up the whole displays for the movies that were coming out, and that movie was out, Independence Day. So every day I would put her to work, and I could put a movie that we had, and I could put it on during the day. Sorry, put it on the screen.
And you watch
I would, I watched Independence Day like every day.
Wow, nice.
With Will Smith.
All right, you guys ready for this one?
Which one?
This movie impacted me. Boys in the Hood.
Oh my God. I was getting into that.
That movie.
1991.
Wow. Man, that movie.
John Singer, the one who he just passed away.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But that guy was, he had a vision for movies that.
No, and the way, he
Ice Cube too.
He was able to do that movie. So I saw, you could actually go on YouTube because I'm really into like Boys in the Hood. There's a interview they did with the cast now.
Yeah.
And the way he did he had told Ice Cube years before or a year before, so I'm gonna do a movie with you. He didn't have a script or nothing. He told him, we're gonna do a movie. And Ice Cube was like, oh yeah, one of the things that people tell you, you're like, yeah, sure. And then finally he was able to do it. And a lot of the scenes they did in the movie, like that part right before they kill, what was the name of his in the movie?
Ricky.
Oh man.
You remember when they're crossing the fence and those dogs?
Yeah.
Those were real dogs at real houses.
Ooh.
They had to cross that. There was no money for for like stunt people or like fake dogs. Where you gonna find dogs? You know what I'm saying? So they had to really do those scenes and hope they didn't fall into the backyards.
Oh my God!
To do the movie.
That movie, wow! It comes to show you, you know, like Ricky, you know, kid grows up
played
in the
by
hood.
Morris Chestnut.
Yeah, Morris Chestnut. He grew up in the hood, you know. He's looking for his way out. He finally gets his way out, and then ends up getting killed because, you know, of the situations that happen day to day with the brother, and you know, and all that.
Yes.
What makes that movie
you know?
as credible as it is, aside from the clear message, you have a plethora of home run hitters in that movie.
Yeah.
From Lawrence Fishburne to Cuba Gooding Jr. to Morris Chestnut to Angela Bassett to Nia Long.
Cool.
You have all of these heavy hitters in there.
Right.
And
Angela Bassett. Wow.
It's
That was a bomb.
it shows you
Regina King.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you get a glimpse.
227.
Yeah, you get a glimpse into, you know, a life that was the norm for a lot of people, and so in so many words, in so many ways, it's the norm for kids now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's pick any hood USA, and there are kids that, you know, hey, look, their ticket to get out is their talent in sports. You know, so if you live in a place where, you know, crime is rampant, you know, gangs are rampant,
right?
You know, either A, are you going to play football and get out of that, you know, or basketball or whatever sport you're in, you know, or are you going to succumb to the surroundings, the gang violence, the activities and stuff like that, you know? And that movie just did an awesome job of showing that. You know, you got a kid, you got 2 kids, 3 kids really, because if you take Doughboy and you take Cuba Gooding's character Trey and you take Morris Chestnut's character Ricky, you have the football player, you have the brother of the football player who's going to a dead end, then you have the one in the middle, you know, who
good and
right,
the bad.
who was
Tell me
with
who
his,
didn't cry when
right,
that dude got shot.
right,
Oh
but
my
then
God.
the
Wow.
message even from that, where Cuba Gooding Jr. first was living with his mom, Angela Bassett,
right.
and she realized that, you know what, I can't give you what your daddy can give you, so I'm gonna send you to live with your daddy. And then you go and you move in with your dad,
right.
And now you have to experience life, and your father has to run you and steer you in that direction as far as what a male is supposed to do.
Exactly.
You know, and at the same time teaching you lessons about what not to get into, you know, and all kinds of topics, you know, between friends and violence and schools and
No, and
drugs.
then he has
and
the example that Doughboy and Ricky, guess what they have? A single mom.
Yeah.
So that's an example of what could happen if you don't have a father, a level-headed father present in your life.
Right.
And then it
You know
also shows, in that case, the single mom, how she was unable to successfully balance herself between her 2 kids.
Yeah.
Because she pushed for Ricky to make it. Ricky was the guy. That's who was going to make it. Doughboy, not so much. You know, I'm not worried about you.
It's good
you
for
know,
nothing.
It's good for nothing. You ain't nothing, whatever. But in the end of that movie, where his brother passed away and he got revenge, you know, and then he has this epiphany and he thinks, you know what, I need to change. But then when he walks across the street and his figure fades out of view, and we find out that a few days later he was killed with a drive-by, it lets you know that for some of these guys, for hundreds of thousands of kids, there is no escaping that lifestyle. The only way you escape is with the bullet. And it's unfortunate and it's sad. But that movie was wonderful at showing that. John Singleton did an awesome job at just showing us how it is, you know, in any hood USA.
That's another movie that I showed my son, Camilo, when he was younger. And he loved it.
You know
loved it.
What the moral of the story that you pick up off of this is something that has been, you know, attacking society for a long time, which is, you know, the one parent homes. Yeah. And it starts at home. You know, that's where the you know, the problem is. There's only one parent. A lot of cases, there's that one parent that does that great of a job, that, you know, gets to be that role model and be that mentor for their kids, that they come up above ground. You know, like A1 type of.
Well, the ones that are raised with grandparents, because both parents are not.
True. You know, because
like in the case, I think it was Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
His grandmother was the one that got him into football.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
She got him into piano lessons.
Yep.
She got him into everything.
Yeah.
And all those skills helped him in the movies.
Right. So
You know?
Yeah.
He got to do Ray because he learned piano.
Awesome movie.
And just that investment.
That's a.
But
oh my God.
before we leave, because before we leave that topic, somebody just wrote here another movie that from the '90s that every time it's on TV I watch. Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, I was talking about.
Brother, let me give you a 5 on that because
Oh,
that's
that
what
was the
goes on
one who
next.
mentioned that.
Yes. Hey,
Tim Robbins.
great
That is
choice.
the most
God.
incredible.
Yes.
And I remember when I was, because I've been to college 3 times in my life. When I was at my first time in college in '98, in my English class, we had to do an analysis on that movie.
Wow.
And I was like, I love that movie. So it was like a fun project.
It was easy for you.
And I didn't notice some of the things that the professor talked about in the movie, like about imagery, right? There was a few things that happened. For example, you remember at the end when he escapes.
Yeah.
He goes through the tunnel, and inside you're like, oh my God, bro, that's miles and miles.
A mission.
But once he gets out,
5 football fields of
once he gets out,
the
imagery is like he was reborn. Right? When a baby comes through,
Oh, wow.
right? So the
Yeah,
symbolism was
Yeah.
like you go
I
through
didn't
the
see
birth
that.
canal,
I didn't look at it like that.
and he was rebirth. It was a rebirth.
Wow.
Like
Amazing.
that was he's a famous director.
The guy that directed.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's done a lot of movies.
Oh my God.
It's not Wes Craven. It's one of those.
No, it's that was actually Stephen King.
Stephen King.
Stephen King.
Stephen
yes.
King was Stephen King didn't direct it. Stephen
No.
King
He wrote the
book.
movie,
Right.
but the one who directed it he did Batman. I think he did the first Batman. What's his name?
Keaton. Michael Keaton?
No. The director.
Oh.
Well, the director that
Anybody
was
remembers?
Frank Darabont. The guy Frank Darabont.
Those I'm getting confused. No, you're right. It was a Stephen King novel.
Yeah, it was a Stephen King novel.
No, I was thinking about the one Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
No.
Tim Burton.
Or was it Tim Burton that did? No. No. I got confused. I apologize. No. But the other thing about that movie that to me was so crazy was that the way he quietly started chiseling the wall, started preparing everything. He said, you know what? Since I know how to do taxes and I know numbers, I'm gonna start gaining trust from the warden. Boom. The way he set everything up, it was over a bunch of years.
Right.
20.
That anybody would have gone crazy. Everybody would have said, no way. He made like a plan. He made like a business plan. He's like, all right, I'm gonna be out of here in X amount of years, and I'm done.
Andy Dufresne.
He had everything planned.
Did it.
The thing that I love about that, in addition to everything you just said, because you're spot on. Again, who was it that mentioned this, George? Who was it?
Jorge.
Thank you very much. Because The Shawshank Redemption is a movie that I share the love with my father. So my dad, we set up one night and we talked about Shawshank for at least about a good 2 hours. And
Wow.
the messages in that. And my father asked me, say, son, do you think that you could do that? I said, do what? He said, do you think that you can be in the position that Andy was in, knowing that you were convicted of a crime that you didn't commit? Yeah. And then the crazy part about that, he also asked me, say, think about it. At a certain point of time in his incarceration, they actually found the guy that knew where the guy was that actually did it. How ironic, how crazy is it that you're in prison and another inmate comes in and he's telling a story and he's talking about this guy who was in this other prison, and the guy was talking about how he went and killed this banker's wife. And the banker's wife is your wife. That's the guy that killed them. So now you realize, okay, this is the guy that can set me free. But because you have become the guy with the taxes, you have made all of these guys so much money, you've saved the warden so much money, you've gotten to a position in the prison system that they need you. So now we're not gonna let you get out. So what does the warden do? They kill that guy. The only guy that knew the innocence of Andy. So now Andy is like, okay, now I'm never getting out. But he did not quit. He didn't give up. And for him to take that hammer, and the question that he asked was, how long do you think it will take me to chisel through a wall like this? And then Morgan Freeman's guy said, oh, about 20 years. And he said, okay. And his mentality was, I got nothing but time. And he took the